This is the plaintiff, Suzanne Kontsevich. She says she rented a townhouse from the defendant, and when her husband passed away, she moved out. The defendant's being petty and vindictive because she won't return her full security. She left the place in good condition, and her list of damages is downright ridiculous. She's suing for $2,650, the amount she's still owed. This is the defendant, Lisa Marzarillo. She says the plaintiff's husband backed into the garage door while it was closed, damaging it. The defendant also says there was a laundry list of broken things in the place, and there's no way the plaintiff's going to get another penny out of her. She's accused of seeing things slightly differently.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that the defendant is heartless, just kept her security even though she had to move out of the townhouse she was renting from the defendant after the plaintiff's husband passed away. But the defendant says that her husband backed into the garage door, breaking it, and she's not returning anything because it has to be fixed. It's the case of the fix is in.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Ms. Kontsevich, you are suing your former landlord, Ms. Marzarillo, for the balance of a security deposit that you're owed, which, according to you, is $2,650. And you, Ms. Marzarillo, are keeping it because... Why are you keeping it?
Because there was a lot of damage that far exceeded the balance of the security money.
Okay, so let's start with you telling me what that damage is, and then I'll give you a chance, Ms. Kontsevich, obviously, to tell me why that's unreasonable. So let me hear from you first, Ms. Marzarillo.
Okay, first, the garage door was damaged, and she agreed that her husband had backed into it.
Okay, so hold on, and do we have a picture of the garage door?
I don't know that I sent a picture, but Susan agreed and acknowledged that her husband had done it for the second time, actually.
Okay, now let me ask you, do you have a receipt for the repair of that door?
Yes, and I did submit that.
And that quote is for how much?
It was, I believe, $450.
All right. Do you dispute the garage door, Ms. Kontsevich?
I do not.
All right. Well, that was easy. Let's go to the next thing. Go ahead.
There were lots of gouges in the walls. It wasn't just where you had to just repaint. There were literally gouges in the walls and on the base trim. And I tried to take some photos and I submitted those as well.
Okay. So that would be these pictures, which are very kind of hard. That's hard to capture, I know.
Yes, it is. But there were a ton of them throughout the house. And see how the molding was like that? It was throughout the entire home. And she did have a little dog, which I had agreed to, but it was just too many. And the painter actually charged $850 because he had to do it in 2 separate days, because he said he had to, I guess, spackle and fill everything the first time and then touch up paint, I guess, the next time. I don't know.
Do you have a receipt for the painter?
Yes, and I submitted that as well. Yeah.
All right. What would your response to that be, Ms. Kontsevich?
It could have been there when I moved in. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't even know how that could have possibly happened. So it wasn't painted before I moved in, so I can't say how long it's been there.
Do you have pictures of how it looked
happened
before when she moved in, Ms.
Yes,
Marzarillo?
yes.
Okay.
They were labeled the before, and it was almost in perfect condition.
This is where I only have the 3 pictures. Do you have any more than that show me the condition of the walls and all that?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
Nope. But, okay.
Okay, so what is the next item that you held her deposit for?
The sofa, she had a blanket on the cushions, and once she finally removed it, I saw that the 2 cushions were pretty much destroyed. It was like a microfiber sectional, and I didn't know what happened to the cushions, quite honestly, but the fabric was destroyed. They couldn't be cleaned, but Sue did mention previously that her dog would lick the cushions, and that's, I assume, maybe from the dog's saliva, what creates, so there's like a sheen on the 2 seat cushions. So the whole sectional looks
right. So, but the sectional was purchased what year?
When 2013 or 14, whenever I
right.
bought
So
the
it's a
townhouse.
7-year-old sectional, and you are suing. You are demanding from her security deposit the value of it at the time that you bought it as opposed to the value of a 7-year-old sectional.
Well, true, but
And that's
I have
not
to
how it
replace
works in
the
court,
whole-
just so you
okay.
know that, yeah,
Okay.
you don't get, because then you got 7 free years out of it, and court is about making you whole. So it's the value is that you get is the value at the time of the loss, and the value at the time of the loss would be a 7-year-old. What's the market value of a 7-year-old couch? It wouldn't be the price you paid 7 years ago. What happened to the couch, though, Ms. Koncevich?
Well, it's true. I had a 6-pound Yorkie, and he would just lick it.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't
All
look
right.
like that.
What else did the doggy do? That little 6-pound Yorkie. What else did that little rascal do, Ms. Marzario?
Yep. It's just, there's a huge stain right next to the bed. And I had it cleaned twice, and the guy said it's not coming out. He doesn't know if it was vomit or something that sat for quite a while, but he said it's not coming out. So
How much did you withhold for that?
I put $250. I didn't get a price yet to replace the carpet.
Okay. What else are you withholding for?
The faucet in my kitchen, she replaced the faucet without even telling me. And then she replaced it with a faucet that sits too high. So there are plantation shutters in my kitchen, and I cannot shut the shutter.
Right, so now she has to replace that faucet. Why did you replace the faucet, Ms. Koncevich?
Because it was broken, and I thought I was doing a nice thing by replacing it.
Did
and
you
not
ever complain
bothering her
about it?
with
Is there any record of you ever saying the faucet is broken versus that you wanted a different faucet? Because
Well, no,
usually if
it's
the
broken.
faucet's broken, you tell your landlord and they pay for a new faucet. And they would
Right,
probably
I
not
should've
get
done
you
that,
one
but
that
I-
looked like that.
No, I didn't care how it looked. It just wasn't functioning. So I thought I was doing something nice by replacing it on my own without having to
Right.
bother her.
Or the other way for me to look at it is you put in a new faucet without permission, and now that's a detriment to her. That's not a nice thing. She's got to replace that faucet, you see. So that does. How much did you pay for that, Ms.?
I got a price from a plumber, including the new faucet and the installation. It was going to be $586.
Did you actually pay that? Because that's absurd.
Is it absurd?
Yeah, I think it's super
I
high.
had a beautiful faucet, though. I had a beautiful
No,
faucet
that's-
prior to.
Okay, so
it's a
prove to
Kohler
me what
faucet that I
faucet
wanted.
you had that price would be accurate. Like, what faucet did you have? Do you have any proof of what it was?
I probably could find proof, but not right now. I don't. Yeah, it was a beautiful faucet, though.
Well, it might have been a
I
beautiful
didn't-
faucet that didn't work, or it might have been a beautiful faucet, or it might have. But if you want $500, you got to prove $500. So what else are you keeping her deposit for?
Okay, so in the spare bedroom upstairs, the end table next to the bedroom top, there's a picture of it. All the paint is like totally scratched off. I don't even know if the dog did that or her daughter did that.
I doubt
have
the dog
no idea.
did that, but
I know.
But what is that furniture like?
It's a espresso wood. I don't know, espresso color wood.
How long has that been in there?
Since 2014, I think.
All right, so
But I mean, it was in perfect condition. I mean, there was not a
okay.
nick on it.
How did the paint come off the top like this, Ms. Koncevich?
I have no idea. I mean, it's not like my daughter scratched at it or my dog scratched at it. I mean, I don't know how that happens.
Why wouldn't it suffice to just refinish the top? Why,
That's what I
why are
said.
you're withholding the
we-
amount that you paid for it 7 years ago again? You're doing that thing.
Right, but it was only, I had gotten it on clearance for $221. So I thought by the time I pay a painter to come in and
Okay,
I
so if
guess
you got
sand
it on clearance for $200 and you've had it for 7 years, then what she damaged is a 7-year-old $200 clearance item. So
Okay.
I will
However,
allot
it's-
something for
okay.
that, okay? What you could have gotten in the open market for that $200 clearance item. Now, let's talk
Okay.
about kitchen tabletop. That's where we are.
Yep. You know, it's just, it looks like she never put anything down to protect it. So now it's all discolored and peeling. And again, I should have had pictures because the furniture, like she commented with her husband when she toured the townhome in order to rent it, everything was just, it looked like it was out of a magazine. It was in perfect condition because I had only used the furniture for about a year because I only lived there for about a
How
year
long
and a
did
half.
she live there?
A total
4
of
years.
4 years.
Okay. Do you have evidence of the cost of the table? Is that in that
Yes.
receipt? So you are suing for the counter height dining table entirely, its entire price, $515.95.
Yeah.
What you paid for it in 2013, right? So there's no dispute that the amount of the security deposit is $2,650, right? That's what was That's the security deposit. All right, folks. So according to you, with your figures, you would be out how much, Ms. Marzario?
About $2,300.
In addition to the
To
$2,600.
the $2,650.
Right.
Yes.
So according to you, your damages are $5,000 something. All right. I find that you're incorrect about that because there's several things that I'm adjusting that we've already talked about, such as depreciated values of things. And when I do my math, you're entitled to $2,032. Okay. So I am ruling that you're entitled to keep $2,032, but I'm ordering you to return to Ms. Koncevich the remainder, which would be $618. And that's because there's some big ticket items, Ms. Koncevich. There's the garage is $450. Even if I depreciate all that furniture, which I am severely, I'm depreciating it because it's 7-year-old furniture. What would you get for it in the open market? It's much less than what she's asking for. There's still the issue of the faucet having to be changed, which I didn't give her the $500. I lowered that by whatever I think a plumber will cost and a decent faucet. All right. And even doing that, you still owe her a bunch of money from your security deposit for the damages. So the remainder is $618. Verdicts for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff prevails in this lawsuit. She gets $618. That's for Ms. Koncevich. Let me ask you, Ms. Marzario, how do you feel about that? You okay with it?
I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't think she deserves any of it, but I'm okay with it.
Well, the judge went over itemized, as you know, detail by detail, and that's what her rough justice has come to. So you're going to have to accept it. Sorry about that. But let's see how the plaintiff feels about it. Ma'am, how do you feel about it, Ms. Koncevich?
I'm happy with it. I mean, she wasn't going to give me anything back, so $618 is better than nothing at all, so I'm pleased.
Okay, in any event, that's what you get, and that'll have to wrap it up for you. Okay, good luck, and congratulations.
This is an interesting case, Doug, and it really raises an issue that we've seen in a lot of cases. The judge in any case, and certainly Judge Milian, cannot rule just out of sympathy. That doesn't mean a judge can't be empathetic, but in terms of saying, I'm so empathetic to you that I'm going to rule for you even though the law doesn't allow, that's just not the way court works.
Hey judges, are there any circumstances that an as-is sale could be overturned?
Well, yeah, the phrase as is means you can't complain about the quality. You can't just have buyer's remorse and say, I changed my mind, I want a refund.
Right.
It means any defect that is there and was always there, you're not going to be heard to say, yeah, now the scratches really bother me or whatever. It means you better make sure it works before you leave and you take it. Now, the exception to that, of course, is fraud. If the person knows the thing doesn't work, if the person knows that there's something wrong, if the person lies about, I just put in a new...
They knew that the house was haunted, right? Something like that. Right?
If the person knows that, they say, I just changed the engine, and then it turns out that the engine hasn't been changed. Right. If they lie or misrepresent,
things, right.
that's fraud, and so fraud is always an exception.
But usually it's a long shot, wouldn't you say?
It's usually a long shot because most people who want to return something that's as is want to return it because they've changed their minds. They have buyer remorse.